Okay. We will talk about lists right now. Are you guys with me? I cannot see you, any of you. I can.
Yes.
Yes, hocam.
We are here.
Yes.
So we are going to talk about lists right now. So unlike vectors, matrices, and arrays, and there is no limit for the contents of a list. So it can be a single mode, or it can encompass any mixture of data in here, okay? So you can combine anything by using list. That is why we are needing list in R in here. And let's do the easiest example for. I have my X as a list and as a vector as first from 1 to 10. And here is X in here. And if you just convert X by saying as list, you can generate, sorry guys, I have to use this one. And you can generate a list by 10 elements in here. This is the first one, this is the second one. And of course, we don't use that one for this kind of data in here. But let's say when you have the mixture of some types of data, let's say I have 10, I have odd, and I have true, you can have a number, a string, and a logical value at the same list in here. You have 10, odd, and true. You see that? If this was a vector, let's say by combining, if this was a vector, you will see that R is going to convert them to a string. But when you have a list, you can just keep it what it is like, okay? So this is, yep.
I have a question. I'm doing the same exact thing, but I don't know why it's not. Okay, never mind. I apologize.
Okay, sure. So when you just check out for the length of the X, we have the length. Let's just run this part one more time. And if you just want to check out for the length, you will see that the length is 3 because I have 3 elements in here. So indexing is kind of different in lists, different than vectors or matrices. Maybe you will see that for the first element, I have 2 square brackets, okay, which is different than the before. So if you want to get the first element in here, you write X, and also you have to add 2 square brackets. And for the first element, you just write this one, and you get the 10. Or by writing 2, you get odd in here, okay? And of course, we can use that element inside something, let's say cat X2 welcomes you. So here is what I am doing. I'm just writing this second element of this. Oh, I just said C. I have to say X. I want to use this guy and add some strings after that. When you just check out for your screen, you will see that you just wrote Otti welcomes you. So you can just use anything you want in here, okay? So I want you to do something as an exercise, okay? By yourself, not in groups. And please just chat me, write on the chat in privately. Please add 100 to the first element of the X list in here, okay?
Hocam.
We are always able to give some names to elements of a list in here. Let's generate my list again. Here is my list. And I want it to be a list. Here is the name of the first element. My name is FGY. my sequence in here is from 1 to 10, and also my data is head of iris. Iris is a data in R, already saved in R, okay? Here is the head of the iris data, okay? Here is the head, means the first sixth element of the iris data. I want to use this data and give it a name as my data. And I want to use my name and give it a name as my name and a sequence to generate a 3-member list in here. Here is my list. And I just write it in here. You will see that this is my first element and second one and the third one with their names. Before that, since I didn't give a name, you will see that I was just having some numbers here. When you just give name, you will see you will just get the names of this list. And always you can just check it out by writing names, my list, and you will see that you have my name, my sequence, and my data. Okay? And what's happening? I have questions. Okay. So we have also, we can call them by writing the names. For example, please go to my list and get my name in here, and you will see that it's just giving me my name. Any question so far? Are you guys with me? Are we good?
Yes, Professor.
Yes, my question was that the reason why we use double brackets, is it because that the elements we put into the list are converted into a vector?
No, they are not converted into vector actually. You will see that, for example, in here, this is not a vector, this is a data frame. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a vector.
Then why are we using double brackets?
Because you may have lists inside lists, so you have to differentiate them, okay?
So the list tries to look at the elements in it as a vector, always?
No, it doesn't have to be a vector. It doesn't
No. It is not a vector, but the list just assumes it's a vector and just...
it just get it as a block. For example, for the first one, it only has one element, a string. For the second one, this is a vector. But for the third one, this is a matrix, a data frame.
Okay.
It is not trying to convert all of them to a vector.
But if we want to access a element in it, we have to assume it's a vector.
No, we are not assuming that. If you are saying like my list, my data, and this is, you will see that this is a vector, this is a matrix right now. You can just use them as a matrix. Okay, it doesn't have to be a vector, or just it doesn't have to behave like a vector.
Okay.
It's just a matrix in this kind. You can add anything you want. You can even add a list inside a list, okay? You don't have any limit in list. You can have any kind, any type, anything in here.
Okay.
I think I'm having one more question. No? Okay. And you can always see the structure of the data by using str. This is the structure of your, let's see, list in here. For example, you will see that you have 3 elements in your list. One of them, the name is my name, and it's a character vector. I mean, it's a character in here. This is the element inside. And your second element is my sequence in here. This is an integer from 1 to 10. You can also see the elements inside. And you have your data as a third element in the list. It's a data frame with 6 observations of 5 variables. And it's just giving these variables. And you will see that 4 of them are numeric. And the 5th of them is a factor with 3 levels. Okay? Are you guys with me? You will
Yes.
Now you see that you may have anything, even a data frame inside a list in here. So let's generate one more, and maybe by doing some practice in here, we will have more clear mind, okay? And I want to generate a new data, list data, and here is my list. And the first one is, let's say, Apple, which is not possible to buy anymore in here, actually. And the Samsung, and let's say PP3. And I want to generate the second one as a matrix. Let's say I have 3, 9, 5, 1, -2, and 8. And I want to generate the number of row equals 2. And also inside list, I want to add a list as, like, say, blue 12.3. Here is my new list. List data. You will see this icon. When you see that icon in here, that means you are having list in here. You see that this is the first element, Apple, Samsung, and PP3. This is a vector of characters. And second element is a matrix here, 2 by 3 matrix. And your third element is a list. So you have a list inside your list, okay? It's kind of interesting. And for the first one, you have blue. And in your list, you have 12.3. Okay? And when you just, if you want to give a name to your list, let's say I want to give names to my list data, you can just give it a name, of course, as, let's say, brand names. I want to just write it in this way. And my matrix. And I write it as pizza. When I just write my list again, you will see that this time I have names, for example, brand names, my matrix, and pizza. Here is my list, and I have 2 elements in my list, okay? You will see them. So let's say I have my list data. This is the name of my list. I want to get the second element in here. Let's see if it is giving. First of all, I want to get it by using the name, brand names, okay? And also, I want to get the second element of my list by using list data. And if you just used, second bracket, you will see that you have the name when you just use the 1 square bracket in here, and you don't have the name when you just use 2 square brackets in here. And if you want to see the third one, list data 3, sorry guys, and you will see that you see the names and also elements inside the list in here. And of course, you can always add new elements in a list, okay? by getting the first 2 and 3 elements. We know how to get them. And also, I'm able to add new element. Let's say here is my list data. And I want to have the fourth one. My name element. And when I just write my list data again, you will see that I have the fourth one as a character. Okay, here is my fourth element. And of course, you can always add more. The fifth one, let's say this is a vector 1, 3, 6, 10. I mean, let's say this is a sequence from 1 to 10. Okay, I can just add one element by using this one. And if I just do this, I will be able to, yes. Now I'm able to add this one, okay? So it's a good idea to use double square bracket to add elements like a vectors, matrix, or data frame. If you want to add just one element, it's good to use just one square bracket in here. But if you want to go to inside of this list member, then it's a better idea to use double of them, okay?
Hocam, I have 2 questions.
Sure.
Okay, the first one is how to add elements to lists, but not in the.
So for years, I can generate them these years by giving, let's run, sorry guys. Let's run this part one more time. And here is my list. I can just give some names to my list in here, okay? And let's get this part one more time. And the first one can be bird, okay? And the second one can be Samsun. And the third one can be Ankara. And the third one can be that. Okay. Now you have name for each of your list in here, okay? For each element, and you can call one of them by giving the name of it. Very similar to vectors or matrices. You see that? Now you have the name, and when you just give the name in here, instead of writing, this is the same as writing 1, you can just get the first one, or you can just, if you know the name, you can just give the name in here, okay? Interestingly, it is also working like this, years, $, and word. You see that one? So that means you have 3 different ways to get some values inside of it, okay? So also I can get several of them by just combining. Let's say I want to get bird and I want to get that. And you see that now you can just get several elements at once. And okay. What else we can do? And we can always create an empty list by just writing my list2 as a list. And this is an empty list. You see that, let's just write it. And it's an empty list right now. And you can always fill your list. Let's say I have my list2, and let's say I want to add an element named left 0.25. Okay, I want to add one more element by saying mid and here is 0.5. Sorry, guys. And I say my list 2 and $signs one more time, right? And I just give it a value 0.75. And here is my list 2. I generated a new list. You see the outputs. I have left, mid, and right. Okay. Any questions so far? Any question?
I have a